Is it real? I mean, is that a real story? I just keep, like, my mind is blown. My mind is blown, you guys. It's just the biggest, weirdest thing ever. Like I said, it really kind of sounds like propaganda, because they were just like, oh, this guy was on the carnivore diet for 8 months and he got cholesterol all up in his hands. All right, you guys. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people that are in the health and wellness space are going to be doing something about this article that I found, and also my brother clued me in on. But what it is about this guy who got cholesterol buildup in his hands from being on the carnivore diet for only 8 months. We're going to be getting into that, but we're also going to hopefully be getting into other stuff too, as long as the storm doesn't get too cold. All right, stay tuned. Meow, meow. It's wet out here. All right, guys, so we're going to be talking about some carnivore stuff. If you've been hanging around my channel long enough, you know that I basically am a carnivore. Not so much right now, and that's something for another video. However, I was very strict carnivore for a very long time, and I kind of played it off like it was a cool thing, but it really wasn't. And it wasn't really by choice, it was by necessity. Had I had a choice, I even at that time would not have chosen carnivore for my health and wellness. It did help. There were a lot of benefits and there were a lot of downsides too, and I feel like I paid the price. So, but that's all for another video. What I want to talk about right now is something that I actually read this on the internet, and it was so outlandishly weird that my little brother even sent me the article too in a text message. And thanks very much, Dan. That's pretty cool of you. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to basically put my 2 cents worth on this. And I might be a little bit late on this because, like, this came out like last week or something like that, and I noticed that there were a couple people in the carnivore space doing videos on this, and so I just wanted to basically weigh in on it because I have to. It's just about common sense, you guys. I mean, seriously, I always put that on this channel. Just think, just use your head. Don't be just don't do stupid stuff. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's no other word for this. It's just, in case you guys haven't heard this, it's just the craziest story that I have heard in a long time. If it's even true, I don't even know if it's true or not, because I have no way to substantiate it. I have no way to go down there and like prove it wrong or not, unless I can find the guy and talk to him. But if I was him, I'd be hiding under a rock by now, especially since this came out in the media. Luckily, they didn't say the guy's name. Talk about embarrassing. But anyway, okay, so what happened was, this is like the hugest carnivore fail, by the way. This isn't the carnivore diet. Before you guys start going off and being triggered and all this kind of stuff, this is not what I would consider a real carnivore diet. Let me just preface this whole thing with that. Also, let me let you know that I'm going to be kind of paraphrasing this, and please, by all means, you guys do your own research, look this stuff up. Now, this article that this guy is citing came from, let's see, an article in JAMA Cardiology, which is like a big, huge medical research thingamajiggy. They like write a bunch of papers and stuff like that. I actually have a friend who's probably in the medical journals, but that's, in the JAMA thing. Because what happens is, like, if you go to the hospital sometimes and your case is just totally outlandishly weird, and you, especially if you make it through it, they will actually put you in medical journals. And I actually have a personal friend who isn't now in a medical journal because of an extreme case. And if he's okay with it, I might, tell you guys that story someday. But anyway, this guy's case is just so crazy. that they had to write a paper about it. And so it came out of Tampa, Florida. It was on the News Channel 8, WFLA, and this post that I have right now was posted by Nathaniel Rodriguez. And like I said, he got it from an article in JAMA Cardiology. And what happened was this man went to Tampa General Hospital because he had these strange, like, yellowish nodules on his palms of his hands and his feet, the bottoms of his feet, and on parts of his, I guess, his like elbows and stuff. I'm not quite clear on that. And it all happened because he had been on the supposed carnivore diet for 8 months. Okay, now we all know all these like cholesterol zealots are ready and just waiting to pounce on, look, see, told you, saturated fat and meat and all this stuff is bad for you. Well, it's not true. It's not true at all. They just want to push their drugs. So they want to make you sick. Well, guess what? They totally loved this guy. He totally played right into their hands unknowingly because he basically was living for 8 months off of 6 to 9 pounds of cheese and butter and any other kind of fat that he could find to put on top of his hamburger patties, okay? Or his hamburgers or whatever, and this is crazy. That's not the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is meat, salt, water, and other things from the animal kingdom in moderation as you can tolerate, and maybe sometimes coffee, sometimes a little bit of alcohol if you can tolerate that stuff. Most of the people that are on the strict carnivore diet, and this is why I'm pointing this out, most of the people that are on the strict carnivore diet are meat, salt, and water because that's all they can tolerate, okay? This right here that I wrote about, this is not the carnivore diet. This is the cheese diet, okay? Because this dude, I mean, seriously, it says right here, it says, the man in his 40s had yellowish nodules on his palms, the soles of his feet, and elbows after eating a so-called carnivore diet for 8 months, according to an article written by Dr. and sorry, doctor, I can't pronounce your name, an international cardiologist at Tampa Heart and Tampa General Hospital, plus 2 other doctors. The article said his dietary habits included a high intake of fats consisting of 6 to 9 pounds of cheese, sticks of butter, and additional fat incorporated into his daily hamburgers. That's quote from those doctors, from 3 doctors, okay? That's what this dude ate. This is not regular diet. This is not a food, okay? You guys don't think that just because they tell you that you could be on a higher fat diet because you're doing keto or carnivore or whatever, that you could just eat as much fat as you want. You can't. And I don't even know how, first of all, I don't know how this guy could afford to buy all that cheese, because last time I checked, cheese is real expensive. And so is butter. Butter and cheese have always been expensive. That's one of the reasons why every once in a while when I was younger and I was a vegetarian, I ended up being a vegan because I couldn't afford these dairy products. They've always been kind of expensive. So I don't know how he's affording, 6 to 9 pounds of cheese and all this butter and the meat too that he's eating. So the guy must be, pretty well to do. Okay. I don't know. The expense of it alone. And then like the fact that the ick factor, the puke factor, like seriously, I love cheese. I love butter. I love meat. I love all of that stuff. Okay. I always have. Even when I wasn't eating it, I loved it. And I would have dreams about eating cheese. But there is no way I could eat that much cheese. I would throw up. I would puke. Like, seriously. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about this. Because I'm just in disbelief. I can't believe somebody out there could eat 6 to 9 pounds of cheese a day. It just blows my mind. I just don't know how that's possible. That's just like Sean Baker eating 6 pounds of meat a day. Yeah, I ate a lot of meat, but... dude, I still eat a lot of meat. I could never, ever figure out a way to eat 6 pounds of meat, let alone 9 pounds of cheese. So yeah, this is just pretty gross. Okay, so then the article said that he first lost weight and had increased energy, mental clarity, until he developed the painless nodules on his hands and feet and limbs and went to the hospital. The JAMA article that they wrote about him said that his total cholesterol level exceeded 1,000 milligrams per deciliter. Guys, that is huge. Okay, you know what? I'm a person that's okay with higher cholesterol, and especially if you're an older woman and you're just, you need that extra protection. I'm a total advocate for, a higher cholesterol level in people, especially, if you're older. I think that I agree with the research that says that it helps with your longevity. But dude, there's always too much of a good thing. 1,000? He's got a cholesterol of 1,000, you guys. Like, seriously, everybody knows that around 200 is baseline, is basically, pretty much what they consider to be ideal. And I would be considering 200 to be, your minimum. Because once you get sick or something like that, your body uses up your cholesterol to help your immune system. So you're going to be down like quite a few points just to get over certain infections, if you catch my drift. So, you're going to need, especially nowadays, you need at least 200 milligrams per deciliter of cholesterol total, but you don't need 1,000. 1,000 is that's just ridiculous. If this is real, I've never heard of anything like this in my life. And trust me, guys, I am a nerd when it comes to health and wellness. Okay, I totally geek out on that kind of stuff, especially when I'm traveling, because I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this whole thing, with like restaurants and everything else. So I'm totally just like, I research this stuff, and I have never, ever in my entire life heard of somebody that had 1,000 cholesterol. It's just huge. And so anyway, this condition that they diagnosed the guy with is known as xanthomalacia or something like that. I can't pronounce a lot of these words. I'll read them and I know what they are, but unless I hear somebody say it, I have no idea. But anyway, it starts with an X and ends with an A, and it's a big long word, and it's basically what it is the buildup of cholesterol under the skin, forming yellow growths that usually appear in the corners of the eyelids. So normally if somebody has this condition, it just kind of gets stuck right here, and they catch it pretty early if it does that. So this case is pretty substantial, because they've probably never seen somebody with that much cholesterol under their skin, much less, on their hands and feet and their limbs. So this is pretty incredible, actually, that this person had this stuff. And luckily it's painless. So like at least he wasn't suffering from any pain or anything like that having this stuff. But yeah, so it's normally in the corners of your eyelids. And according to this article, the condition is associated with high risk of heart disease and atherosclerosis. Another word I have a hard time with. You can lower cholesterol levels, but the condition does not go away on its own, and it must be treated through surgery or other therapeutic methods. So in other words, if you got it on the corner of your eye, they would probably just cut it off, which is okay, I guess. I guess. But this poor dude, he's got it like the pictures showed, the palms of his hands having these big veins and knots and stuff on them. And, and I'm sure his feet probably looked even worse. And who knows what his elbows looked like. They probably had some big bumps or some weird thing, but you could actually see a yellowish color on the picture of his hands. You could see like there would be this line right here, where your lifeline or whatever it is. And then there would be these bumps and lines of this yellowish looking stuff. And I guess it was probably really hard. It looked like it was hard. And they called it nodules. So it's probably really hard. And how do you deal with that? I mean, hopefully there's some sort of laser therapy they could do or something, but it's just weird. But yeah, so according to this article, they can, you can lower your cholesterol back to healthy levels, but this excess cholesterol stays in your skin for probably forever. So yeah, guys, just have some common sense. That's why I do some of these videos, because I'm trying to like, give people like some inspiration, and like tell people, it's okay, just common sense. And I want to like, incorporate more of this stuff in my channel, because it's very important, especially if you are on the road full time, and even if you're on the road part time. You really have to take care of your health. If you want to keep traveling and you want to keep being a nomad, you got to keep your body in tip-top shape as best as you can, especially if you want to go on hikes and things like that and see things when you're going around the country. You really don't want to mess stuff up, And so I don't know. I think that it's very important for the nomad community, whether you're, or even like, like the off-grid community. You've got to keep yourself healthy. If you are living off the grid, you are providing a lot of your own stuff. And when you are on the road as a van lifer and a nomad, you are providing your own stuff, and you are taking care of yourself. And you really need to make sure that your body is healthy enough to do that. If you have mobility issues, if you have, breathing problems and things like that, it is much harder to do these kinds of lifestyles. If you cannot get more than 20 or 30 miles away from the nearest hospital, it's going to be very difficult for you to go and see this beautiful country that we have, or even travel abroad. Okay. And there are places that I have lived, and I live in one right now, where healthcare is very marginal and you're pretty much on your own. Okay, so, and especially if you have a homestead way out in the middle of nowhere, that's your home, that is your home base, or that is your full-time residence, you are going to have to make sure, even more than anybody else, that you take care of yourself. Because if you cannot keep your body healthy, things are going to go downhill pretty quick. And so that's why I'm starting to incorporate more of this stuff into my content, because I really care about what happens to people in this community. I care about myself, I care about others, and I want to make sure that, I don't know, people are just living their best life. And it doesn't matter if you are living in a van, or if you're homesteading, or if you're doing a combination of both, like Ron and I are trying to do. You've got to keep yourself healthy. And on top of that, nobody is going to do it for you but you. Your doctor isn't going to do it. Your mama isn't going to do it. You have to do it. So I'm going to be putting some more of this kind of stuff out there for you guys. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think this guy, like, just, I don't know, thought that he can get away with, eating a whole bunch of stuff that he always wanted to eat because the carnivore diet said it was okay to eat saturated fats and things like that, and actually encouraged it? Or do you think that this dude just had like a problem, like an eating problem, and he just went overboard? Do you guys think that this guy, I don't know, just didn't read the research? Didn't like do his own homework? That's what I think. I think the guy was pretty well-meaning, and I think that he just didn't do his homework. I think that he thought that, okay, the carnivore diet's like the keto diet, and on the keto diet and the carnivore diet, they say I can eat as much fat as I want. Well, what's the fattiest stuff out there that tastes good? Oh, butter and cheese. That's it. But dude, I still can't understand how somebody could eat that much per day. It had to have been an average, because there might have been some days where he just didn't eat it. And really, with my experience on being on extremely low carbohydrate diets like the keto diet and the carnivore diet, it's actually really, really hard to overeat. In fact, most of the time you're undereating. They call it a fasting mimicking diet or a starvation mimicking diet, not just because of the fact that you're not getting any carbohydrates, but also because, you can go for a long time without eating and not feel hungry. So that's basically the definition of starving yourself. I mean, I figured it out. I put my calories into Chronometer for my carnivore diet. And I found out that just calorie content alone, I wasn't getting enough to eat. So that's a whole nother video. We're going to talk about that kind of stuff too on this channel, because it's, like I said, it's very important. If you want to have an alternative lifestyle of any kind, I don't care if you are a skydiver, I don't care if you live in a tree house, or if you are just raising a bunch of chickens in your backyard, you need your body to work like it needs to be working, and you need your body to be in tip-top shape. So that's one of the things that I feel is important that we need to talk about. And let me know in the comments, you guys, how you feel about that stuff. You know, give me your opinion on what you think this guy was doing, because I really just don't understand it. Do you guys even think that this is a real story? Do you think this is propaganda that they put out there to, like, you know, basically scare people away from eating cholesterol? Like, you know, seriously, it's kind of like that thing where, like, eggs are bad one week and then the next week they're good, and all this kind of weird stuff that they get into. And it's like, oh, well, now you can't eat asparagus because it makes your pee stink. I mean, just all kinds of weird stuff, you know? I mean, is it one of those things, or is it actually a real thing? Let me know, you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. You know, I really value your opinion, and I hope that, you know, you guys would, like, at least watch this far and, you know, basically answer some questions for me. What do you guys think about this stuff? You know, is this guy just some kind of weirdo, or, you know, is this stuff that made up, or what? You know, I don't know. I mean, seriously. And I really enjoy, you know, interacting with you guys, because sometimes you give me ideas for videos. Sometimes you give me ideas in life. You know, that's what this YouTube community is all about. So I'm just really hoping that from now on, you know, we can just kind of, like, I don't know, talk back and forth and you know, yeah, just tell each other what we think. And if I had a better internet connection, I might actually do a few live videos. We'll see if I can fix that, but I don't know. Especially when we're traveling, it's kind of hard, because I do everything on data. And hopefully we're going to be traveling here again pretty soon. I don't know how that's happening. I do know that we do need to visit our dentist down in Mexico pretty soon. We try to kind of wait until the whole quartzite thing is over with, and then we go down that way. And also, usually the way the weather works is everybody is having crappy weather, including people down south in the desert, and we're having nice warm weather where we're at. So we kind of like to stay until our weather starts to turn, because we get our winter kind of late here. We get cool temperatures at night and stuff like that, but usually during the daytime it's really beautiful until about the middle of February, and then it starts to kind of go to so we kind of wait. So we'll see what happens. We don't even know if we can make it down there this year, but you know, if we do, I'll take you guys with me. And sometimes our internet connection gets kind of weird down there, so yeah, because we don't have Starlink or any of that junk. So yeah, but I'll let you guys know how it is and what we're doing down there. And you know, maybe I'll show you how we eat and travel with basically, we have no refrigerator still. We're still using a cooler. I don't know if this thing will show it to you, but this thing that looks like a refrigerator is not. It's actually an old-fashioned ice box that's really, really old. It's probably about 60 years old, and it still works really well, and it works a lot better than like a Yeti or something like that. But anyway, that's stuff for another video. And I just wanted to, like, say hi to you guys. And yeah, just let me know what you think about this guy. I mean, is it real? I mean, is that a real story? I just keep, like, my mind is blown. My mind is blown, you guys. It's just the biggest, weirdest thing ever. Like I said, it really kind of sounds like propaganda, because they were just like, oh, this guy was on the carnivore diet for 8 months and he got cholesterol all up in his hands, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.